Praise Soko from Zimbabwe. I was born about 30 years ago in a very remote town called Chinhoyi, where most of the farming is done. That's where I was born. I grew up there. I did my primary education up until 2004. Then I went to high school, finished in 2008. Then I was home for a few years. Then 2010, that's when I decided to pursue my career in music. So I've always been into music my whole life, from playing guitars, marimbas. Junior school, I was playing marimbas, which is a traditional Zimbabwean musical instrument also. So after that, I went to pursue music because for me, it was something that was, burning inside my heart. And looking at how our culture was sort of, inclined, it's like culture is music and music is also culture. I decided to explore a bit more and study Western music. I did African music, yes. So I think that's me in a nutshell.
It's quite interesting. Thank you so much for sharing your biography one by one.
Mm-hmm.
Hi, sir. My name is Devi.
Hello, how are you?
I am studying 7th grade. My hobbies are reading books, playing games, and watching TV. My life ambition is to become a software engineer. Can I ask one question, sir? How does music education affect students?
All right. How does music education affect students? So, from my experience over the 6 or 7 years I've been teaching music, I've realized a lot of things. We come across things like, people should just learn how to sing, people should just learn how to play musical instruments. But if you look at it from a very scientific point of view, and what I've also experienced is music works in so many different ways. And the first one is just developing your motor skills, your fine motor skills, your gross motor skills. Music affects students in that way also. So it's developing your body, your coordination, your rhythm. It also helps you. The most important thing that I also figured out was memory. The more you learn about music, the more you remember things. So that directly affects your remembering of things when maybe going through exams. That also helps you with maths problems. That also helps you to remember equations. It also helps you to remember facts about certain things that you would like to know. So music directly affects every one of us, especially kids who are learning. Thank you.
What kind of music does Zimbabwe have?
Zimbabwe is very unique music, I would say. We have our very own traditional music, which we call Mbira music. So the Mbira, you spell M-B-I-R-A, Mbira music, which is, and you play this instrument with your thumb. So this is one of our traditional Nyunga, which is N-Y-U-N-G. Nyunga instrument. This is called the Nyunga instrument. So we've got Mbira music. Also, over the years, have adapted. If in Africa, I'm sure you know a country called DRC, which is the Democratic Republic of Congo. We also took music from their side, which they call rumba, and we made our very own, which we now call museve, which is on like the 4-beat and very fast, maybe around 110 or 120 beats per minute. So it's like very fast-pacing music, which is mainly played by a bass guitar, a rhythm, and you've also got 2 other guitars, which and a drum set. So Mbira music, that's, I think, most of our traditional or cultural music in Zimbabwe. The rest of the music that you hear from Zimbabwe is borrowed from other countries, like jazz, like pop music, R&B, hip hop. But our main music is Mbira music. Thank you.
What are the 5 methods in teaching music?
So the five methods of teaching music are very interesting. They also depend on where you are teaching and which type of children you're teaching also. My key method of teaching music for me is the first one is using technology. So that's my first method of teaching music is using technology. And I think one of the most significant drawbacks of traditional music teaching method is that they sort of underutilize technology. And today's students are most sort of very illiterate in technology, much more than their teachers. So for me, we had the opportunity at our school to get what they call an innovation hub, where they get to explore a lot of things about music through the iPad. So the iPad contains a lot of teaching resources about music, and they can record, they can do a lot of stuff with their music, which is beautiful. So for me, that's the first method I use when teaching, is incorporating technology. And the second one for me is creating an inclusive classroom for everyone, making sure when we do an activity in class, everyone is involved. If we are doing rhythms for the day, everyone gets a drum or everyone gets a shaker. It's including everyone. If we are doing pianos, others are learning how to play the scales, others are doing something else that relates to piano. And the third one is focusing on engagement, in making sure everyone is engaged and making sure that what we are doing is not that boring for my kids to be not engaged during the lesson. And the fourth one would be sort of embracing the artist that's within my kids. You know, everyone is a personality, everyone is a character, and I believe in music, that's where we see most of our kids or students' characters. So I make sure, because I believe strongly in the idea of the artist teacher. So everyone can be a teacher, but I can also sometimes move to a different scale of being an artist and actually show my kids of what I'm capable of. Right, thank you.
I'm an IPS officer. Can I ask a question, sir?
Yes, you can ask the question.
Could you please tell us about Victoria waterfalls?
As I said, I grew up in a different town that is west of our country, in Mashonaland West. So growing up, I always wondered what the Victoria Falls was like. So I never got the chance to visit the Victoria Falls growing up, but last year I managed to visit Victoria Falls. And what I can tell you about Victoria Falls before I get into detail is it's just majestic, it's beautiful. And my first experience was, it was like I was being welcomed to a city that I'd never been before, not by people, but by nature. The way those falls were created, it's amazing what things are out there for you guys to see. And I would love for you guys to visit Victoria Falls. And this is what I can tell you about Victoria Falls. Let me just quickly open what I wrote down. So the first question is, why is it called Victoria Falls? It was named after Queen Victoria of England. That's the first thing I can tell you. And it was discovered by a famous person called David Livingstone. So if you visit Victoria Falls, there's a statue which was put there of David Livingstone. Right. So Victoria Falls is part of what we call the Zambezi River. The Zambezi River is the fourth largest in the African continent river. That is the largest one, and it spans across 6 different countries. The Zambezi River, where it's amazing. It's amazing. Journey spans an impressive 2,700 kilometers. Along the way, you can see a range of wildlife and participate in a lot of things. So you've got wildlife along the Zambezi River, which flows into the Victoria Falls. And Victoria Falls is also called in our native language, Mosi Oa Tunya. So Mosioatunya, Mosi Oa Tunya, which means the smoke that thunders. That's what Mosi Oa Tunya, yes. So this is a perfect analogy, yes. But the English name was chosen by David Livingstone. And you know, the most beautiful thing is you can see the falls from 2 countries. Do you want to guess which the countries are? You've got Zimbabwe, and why the other one is called Zambia.
Zambia. Is it Zambia? Right?
Yes, it's Zambia. Yes, Zambia.
Okay.
And it's also one of the world's 7 natural wonders.
Oh,
thank you.
That's great.
Yes. Yeah.
Hi, sir. I am Sai Surya. I am studying from grade. I am 12 years old. I have reading books, playing games, and watching TV. My future ambition is to become a police officer. Can I ask you a question, sir?
Yes, please do ask a question.
What are the career opportunities for music in Zimbabwe?
Career opportunities for music in Zimbabwe. So, career opportunities for music in Zimbabwe, before I go technical, the first thing that you can be in Zimbabwe is become an artist. You become a singer. You can start by singing, or you can start by being a session musician. As you can see there, you can be a drummer, a career opportunity right over there. And over there, you could play piano. You could do quite a lot of stuff. Let me just show you something. You could also you could play guitar if you want. And the other career opportunities in Zimbabwe, which are related to music, you could easily become a music producer, produce music for people. You can start looking at how Zimbabwe is expanding and its film industry is growing. You could also start looking into film scoring for movies. Do you know what that is? Film scoring for movies. You can also easily write music lyrics for people and sell them to artists. And so there are many career opportunities. And the most important thing for me is you can also become a music educator.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
Yes, thank you.
Hi sir, my name is Fatima. I am studying in 7th grade. My hobbies are reading books, playing games, and watching TV. My life ambition is to become an maths teacher. Can I ask one question, sir?
Wow.
Awesome.
How does music education benefit society?
So I'll just take you back 50 years ago. Music was seen as something that was not good and immoral in Zimbabwe. If anyone decided to do something that was related to music, just about 50 years ago, parents would discourage kids. And they did not realize the benefits of music in society. Number one, I would say education. You can educate people through what you write and sing. Number two, the benefit of music in society is communication. It communicates. You can easily communicate to people. Those are the benefits. And the third benefit for me, and benefit is putting people together. It brings people together. Music is like a universal language. So in society, people relate more. Everything that is done is sort of connected to music somehow. So I think for me, those are the main benefits of music in society. And also it gives identity to several people in the society, because we can't all be doctors, we can't all be mathematicians. I'm not a pilot, but I'm a music educator. So we all have, it's something that, you know, sort of creates a balance in the society. Thank you.
Hi sir, my name is Soumya. I'm studying in 7th grade. My hobbies are playing games and watching TV, reading books. My life ambition is to become a doctor. Can I ask one question, sir?
Yes.
What is life like in Zimbabwe?
Life in Zimbabwe is pretty interesting, very interesting. Where do I really start? I would say Zimbabweans are the most friendliest people you could ever meet on the face of the earth. And life in Zimbabwe, for now, looking at the whole global recession and all that, it's been very tough financially. Things have been going up. Oil prices, you're looking at basic commodities, rents and water bills, electricity bills. It's been tough, but generally life in Zimbabwe is quite easy. We do not have very low temperatures. For environmentally, we are very blessed. We have I think the most beautiful country in the world, if I may say, because we have different parts of the country where people can do a lot of stuff. Like Marsh West is mainly known, yes, Marsh West is mainly known for farming. Mashonaland North is mainly sort of, I think, known with mining. And if you come to Victoria Falls side, it's mostly mostly focusing on the environment. They also focus, so it's mostly now things that have to do with nature. A very well-rounded country, and we believe very strongly in our culture, and we are very friendly people, if I may say again. Thank you.
Can I ask you a question, sir?
Please do ask.
What is the role of song and dance in the Zimbabwe culture?
So, dance and say the role of song and dance. I would say it's part of our everyday lives. It's tradition. It's something that we cannot take away from ourselves. Song and dance. Looking at our culture in Zimbabwe, dance was mainly done if there were special occasions. So the roles were mostly social function roles. You're looking at weddings, you're looking at harvest time, you're looking at funerals. So mostly, if we go to funerals, mostly there was song. When there's a funeral in Zimbabwe, people dance the whole night and sing, celebrating the life of someone who has passed on. And when we are harvesting, we have specific dances for that. For example, we have what we call mbakumba. It's mainly done when after harvesting, when people are celebrating their plentiful harvest and all that. And you have different dances for different social functions. So like I said, religiously, we have dances for that and songs. And so the role of music and dance is very present in our everyday culture. Even you see people, for example, washing plates, people sing. So it's dance and song is our everyday part of life. But like I explained, today I'll play you the traditional instrument, this one.
Yes.
The Nyunga Nyunga Mbira. As you can see, if you can see clearly, that's the Nyunga Nyunga Mbira. So it's got this round part whereby all the sound resonates, and you play it using your thumb and your fingers. So it's like you're sliding down. So this is how it sounds. So I'll play one of our very basic patterns called Kukaiwa. So I hope you'll be able to see. Let me try get you a very good view of me playing it. So this is called the basic pattern. I think the very first thing, if you guys ever decide to come to Zimbabwe, this is what I'll teach you, which is called Kukaiwa. So I'll just add the song. It simply says Kukaiwa. So I'll be saying Vanondo Kaiwa, Vanondo Kaiwa. So it now sounds like this. So in our sort of traditional music, we have what we call vocables, where someone sounds like this. Yeah, 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 yeah. Vanondo kaiwa, vanondo kaiwa. So it's like someone who's sort of humming and trying to sing at the same time. And then when we're singing, we also ululate. So for example, I'll be playing something like this. Then I go back to the basic pattern. Yeah, 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 yeah. Vanondo kaiwa, vanondo kaiwa. So that's basically how this instrument works. And if I can remind you again, it's called the Nyunga Nyunga Mbira from Zimbabwe. We have 3 different types of mbiras like this. This is the Nyunga Nyunga. I'll send photos of the other instruments to your teacher, which is called the Nare and the Njari. Thank you very much. Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much for your time. We really enjoyed.